When I entered medical laboratory sciences, I thought my entire future would end up in a hospital lab. The normal routine tests, lab coats, and night calls. But by the time I reached 500 level, I realized something shocking. MedLab is one of the most versatile courses in healthcare, and nobody tells you this early enough. If you're a medical laboratory scientist, or a medical laboratory student, or even someone trying to get admission into the medical laboratory science course, this video is going to change how you see yourself and your career. Hi, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, I create videos and content on medical laboratory science, career growth, and things I wish I knew while I was still a student in medical laboratory sciences. Today, I want to talk about what I honestly did not know was possible in medical laboratory sciences until I got to my 500 level, career-wise. Medical laboratory sciences is often called the bedrock of modern medicine and healthcare, and I understand why now. Yes, most of us start in the hospitals. About 60 to 70% of medical laboratory science graduates start in the hospital. But here is what I did not grab on early on about medical laboratory science. Medical laboratory science is not just about running sample or being a diagnostic detective that helps doctors diagnose diseases before they go far or before they even start. MedLab involves other things such as diagnostic analysis, quality control, problem solving, and data interpretation. And believe me, those skills are far beyond the scope of the hospital settings. Let us start with the one you all already know, the clinical part. This is basically a medical laboratory scientist working in a hospital lab or in a private lab, serving as a diagnostic detective, helping doctors to monitor a particular disease or test run samples, routine samples for patient care. In the hospital, you can work as a generalist in hematology, chemical pathology, microbiology. This is basically done in private labs in Nigeria, because when you get to the federal or the government health sector, you notice that most of the lab scientists, they are specialized. Some will be working in the chemical pathology unit based on their specialization. Others will be working in the histopathology unit, while others will be working in the microbiology unit. But when you get to a private establishment, you see that one medical laboratory scientist can be a generalist, working on different specialties. Even beyond the hospital, there are other private establishments that medical lab scientists can work in. There are fertility clinics where lab scientists work with andrology and IVFs. Then there are those that work with transplant agencies, doing tissue typing and using HLA to match donor and recipient organs. This alone already expands the vision and the view beyond what most students see about medical lab science within their 100 level through 300 level. Now, everything I've mentioned so far still sounds hospital related, right? This is where things get interesting. One of the biggest shock, I call it a culture shock, in medical lab science that occurred to me was that MedLab graduates actually work in corporate and industrial sector. Yes, MedLab scientists work in corporate and industrial sectors, and they are well paid for doing these works. For example, let's talk about the field application specialists. Who are the field application specialists? These are scientists who train other scientists to use new medical laboratory science equipment. They are teaching, troubleshooting, and representing the technological aspect of medical laboratory sciences. Then there are medical laboratory sales representatives. These are individuals that deals in selling lab equipment, reagents. In fact, what they are doing is that they are professionals selling diagnostic machines, reagents, and solutions to hospital management systems. Some MLS graduates work in pharmaceutical research and development. In this area, they sort of help to test run new drugs, new pharmaceutical drugs, and vaccines. For you to be able to work as in a pharmaceutical setting as a medical laboratory scientist, you must have probably gone for a postgraduate degree in something like pharmacology. Then there are others that move into quality assurance. These are medlab scientists, professionals that make sure that products such as the pharmaceuticals, the food, and beverages meet health, safety, and regulatory requirements. It was at this point that I realized that medical lab science is not limiting. It is our awareness that is limiting, because what you don't know, you don't see. Another area I didn't fully appreciate before was public health and government work. Do you know that medical laboratory scientists are involved in forensics, analyzing data and samples for government agencies and law enforcement? Others work in public health, monitoring outbreaks and checkmating it, like we saw in the COVID-19. Most medical laboratory sciences work with the NCDC, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, and some also work with NAVRC, if you've heard of NAVRC before. There is also environmental health, where medical laboratory scientists test the soil, the water for pathogens that might prove harmful to human life. And yes, I got this one recently, that MLS graduates also work in the military as laboratory officers. I don't have much, I didn't do much research on this particular one, but probably next video we'll talk about that more. If you are the kind of person that wonders the why behind the science, you are interested and curious about why behind the sciences in the medical laboratory field, medical laboratory science opens doors to you in the academia and the leadership world. What do I mean by this? You can become an authority in medical laboratory sciences as a medical laboratory manager or an academician. When I say medical laboratory manager or director, I mean there are some medical laboratory scientists that are employed by big private labs. What they do there is that they oversee operations, budgets, and the staff. Then in the academical part, most of the lecturers that teach us in the university, that train us to become the professionals that we are becoming today, they are the academicians. Some of them are into research. There are authorities. Most of them have gotten their doctorate degree. They have learned so far that they are now dishing out the knowledges they have to us who are the students. So there is also an opening for you as an academician, as a lecturer, as an educator in the medical laboratory science field. Then with further training, the field widens even more. You can specialize with further certification. Earlier I talked about maybe running a postgraduate degree in pharmacology, that it can actually help you to work in the pharmaceuticals, helping in the research and production of new pharmaceuticals and vaccines. Now, with a master's degree in different areas of specialization, you can even become pathologist assistant. Some people transition into biomedical engineering. I know of some of my senior colleagues who, after their NYSC, they went and did their masters, most of them outside the country, and transitioned into biomedical engineers. These biomedical engineers are people that build most of these machines we use in the lab. They are the people that build those analytical or diagnostic machines that medlab scientists actually use in getting the results, the needed result. When you put just engineers up to the task of creating the machines that we use, one thing research had found out in the past is that they tend to make mistakes because they do not understand the science behind, or the principle behind how the result is being produced. But when they are working with medlab scientists, those that have studied the medicals and then transitioned into the biomedical engineering, they tend to understand more, because having a background knowledge of the principles behind the test that the machine is going to run will make them program the machine in a way that it will produce an accurate result for diagnosis. Reaching 500 level taught me one major lesson, that medical laboratory sciences is not a dead-end degree. In fact, it is sort of a foundation to brighter and newer aspects of the healthcare system. The earlier you understand your options, the better you can plan your future. If this video helped you, like it, subscribe, share, and also drop a comment for us so that we'll know that this channel is being appreciated. Tell me which of the career paths that surprised you the most. I'll see you in the next video.